It's fantastic.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's winter now again and it's time to do some serious work at the Unic project. I made some temporary walls here so I can work here in warmer conditions than last winter. And I have installed the Unic on top of a welding table. So now I can start rewelding the end of the chassis. So hopefully this vehicle can be complete again soon. My Unic TU1 was used by the German army during World War II in Norway, and after the war it was auctioned off to civilians. Some farmers bought it and they used it for many years in the forest industry, to pulling trees out of the forest and use it as a tractor there. When it last time ran in 1975, according to the previous owner. So it's been a while since this one has been running. Here you can see the section both sides that have been cut off, that I need to make new steel to about here, 110 centimeters, to make the frame complete again. So this week I have ordered some steel and hopefully I can start welding this week or in the weekend, if the steel supplier can finish making the profiles I need. Missing chassis parts will be approximately built to around here, so it's not so big of a job. And there will be a trim there and another mile on this side, and this piece will come somewhere in the middle here, because there will be a leaf spring that goes over here to connect each side of the track system, that will be bolted on a plate on this side, and then I have to make some small stiffeners around the edge of this. So it's not a really big weld job. When I was on my big Europe trip this year, I visited 3 other Unic owners in the world, and I took many measurements, and I also see that these 3 vehicles was slightly different. It could vary the length in around 1 centimeter, but at least of two of them had the same measurements, so that's why I will use the same measurements as these two. When I'm doing a restoration like this, it's always good to have some good manuals and some drawings. And in the National Archives in Germany, I managed to find these documents with all the blueprints and parts list for the Unic that the French made before the war, and the Germans just copied the manuals and made it in German. So it's wonderful drawings to see all the details, the length of the bolts, the size of the leaf springs. Just fantastic to have these documents. The table that the Unic sits on now was not intended for this vehicle at all. I didn't have this vehicle when I built it. It was made for me to start with the SDKFZ11 Halftrack 3-tonner project that I have. But that project has not been started yet because the Unic project was more complete. So I'm glad I can finally use this welding table to help me when I will start with the rebuilding the rear section of the chassis here now soon. I've started to clean some old beams that I had in my storage that are going to be used to hold a leaf spring inside the chassis that actually had the right dimensions that I was looking for, that the steel supplier didn't have and I need to order it for a ton of money. So it's always good to try to use what I have in storage. This is the radiator mask on the grill. It has some nice winter camo still left on it. Sadly, most of the other paint on this vehicle was in really bad condition since it's been standing out for so many years. But also on the engine cover there were some remains, but it was too rusted for me to try to save any of this paint. So I have decided to sandblast it all and paint it in Panzergrau, the color that the Germans used on most of their vehicles, at least early in the war. These vehicles are also very cool in their allied colors, like the French camouflage. But since this vehicle was used in Norway during World War II, and the history is mostly Norwegian/German war history in Norway, I'm going to paint it in German colors. On the torpedo wall we can see the original ID plate. It seems like the production number for this vehicle is 253. And over here we can see a Waffenamt. It's a proof that the Germans made this Unic after the occupation of France in 1940. The last 40 Unics that was made under German command and had a slightly different seats and small details, such as I can see some towing hooks are different on these vehicles, but overall it's pretty much the same. This part right here is the original fuel tank that was in my Unic TU1. When I first bought the Unic, I didn't have this tank, But luckily the old owner, he was cleaning in his garage, and he sent me a message. He have found this tank, if it could be for this vehicle. He said he used it many years ago as a sign by the road, because this Unic was quite a landmark in a Norwegian town called Fagernes. It was standing aside of the road, so people can see it from the road. So it's been some tourists stopping there and taking photos of this vehicle and chatting with the old owner about this Unic. It seems quite solid. I don't know the material it's made of, but it seems to be brass maybe. It's very complete with all the fittings. It has some damage over here, but I'm sure I can find some people that can TIG weld and try and fix this for me, so I can use the original tank. And here we have the rims that I'm going to use. It's Citroën rims from a 1937 Citroën Rosalie delivery van. It has the same pattern as the Unic TU1, but the Unic TU1 rims actually had a non-puncture tire, bulletproof tires, and they were bolted rims. So I'm going to make a fake ring around here that I'm going to weld to this edge, and I will place bolts here all the way around, so it looks like an original Unic rim. Here you can see the tracks. Here are two track links and the pin that goes inside. It's some loose parts here and there. And this is going to be absolutely terrible to dismantle. Some say they use a 30-ton press, heat it up, and a friend in France, he told me some days he used an entire day just to release the pin out of one track link. And I really hope he's lying, because there are a lot of track links for each track that needs to be heated up, put in a press. All the parts needs to be cleaned, it needs to be re-lubricated and put back together again. Ooh, big job. Here you can see the front roller. It has a hole for the starter rod, or what I should call it. And over here, it's a bullet hole. I don't know if it's from the Great Moose Hunt in 1974 or it's a war damage. It didn't penetrate. But for now I will keep it. It's a really cool thing to have bullet holes in a World War II vehicle. When I restore vehicles, I always try to reuse the original bolts and put them back into the same position as they were when I took the vehicle apart. I used flathead screws like this, and I used like this black type of bolts, some German, some French. There was a mix in this vehicle. Some were German and some were French. The French seems to have no logos at all, because the number one most terrible I see in any restorations are people that are using modern bolts like this with 8.8. They are shiny, they are it's just totally worthless. Throw it in the garbage. This number 253 seems to be some kind of production number, and this 3-digit numbers can be shown on many parts, such as the steering column here says 295, and on the rear axle it says 256, so it's only 3 numbers away from the number I have on my torpedo wall. Also on top here is a number 275, and on the engine that same numbers with 3 digits, this time it's 245, can be seen on each piston. So it has to be the original pistons. When I bought the Unic, it was missing the front axle. Maybe some farmer took it away and used it for some other purposes. But one of the leaf springs was still in place, but it's not the original leaf spring. Seems to be some kind of field modifications. So I don't have the original springs, and it's not exactly easy to find them. But I had some other leaf springs in my storage that came from a Ford truck. So I will disassemble this leaf spring and rebuild them so they will more or less match this design, and they can be used on the Unic. This is the front axle that I was really lucky to find for sale in an auction in France last year, and with help from a friend in France, David and Alexis, then I can purchase this piece and pick it up this summer in our big Europe trip, when we visited many collectors in Germany and France and in Czech Republic to pick up parts for this project and other projects. It's a really good piece. It even has the original brake lines on it, so it's easier for me to make new ones because it has some damage here and there, and it's need to be replaced. To find such a complete track system, I was thinking it should be more and less impossible, but I was really lucky to get a tip from an owner in Czech Republic that he had a tracked vehicle that was homemade, standing in his property for 40 years, that he didn't need anymore. So I bought the entire vehicle, and together with a lot of parts from different vehicles, the biggest job of this restoration will definitely be to restore the tracks. They are super rusted, and there are some field modifications going on here. This pads here should be rubber, and on this vehicle it's welded on some angle irons, and eventually I think they can tear and wear on the tires. It's not very good to use metal. It should be original rubber. But luckily I have these 2 extra sets with tracks that I can try to use instead. They are in a little bit better condition. The steering wheel is not the original steering wheel. It's from some other German 1930s car or a tractor. But it has the same size as the original steering wheel. It looks correct. It has 3 spokes and it fits the hub, and that is the most important. It's always good to have a steering wheel on a vehicle, or else they are incredibly hard to drive around with. These are some of the original floor plates, belly plates under the chassis that I need to make new, so I have made some new pieces that needs to be finished. There's a lot of holes and profiles going on that I need to cut out and drill and fix. And of course this company that I bought this plates from, they didn't have the full length, so I have to weld it together to make one whole plate. But that's life. Then we have the gearbox cover. It has also some nice ID plate. It's not so easy to see, but it shows a diagram over the gears and one shifter that says Petite Vitesse and Grande Vitesse, so it's small gearbox or large gearbox, I suppose. Of all the Unics I've been visited, it seems like maybe this is the only one that has the actual original cover. The other one seems to be newly made repro. And also here is the side cover. A little bit rusted down in the bottom, but totally restorable. Here is one of the instruments I have bought. They are made of Jaeger. Really good condition. I don't know if this is the exact type that is used in Unic. Maybe it's used for several French vehicles, but according to the photography in the old manuals, it seems to be exactly the same. It doesn't go 80 kilometers, but one collector in France told me he had his Unic to go up to 60 kilometers per hour. That is really good for a little half-track like this. Let's see some videos of a Unic like this in action.
Så slänger vi köttbit.
Ja då.
Nej,
Va?
vad?
Nej, men det är... Va? Säkert hög då.
My main goal is to finish this vehicle in May 2026. That is not so many months left, but luckily in the winter time I have a lot of time to work, and if I can find the missing parts, then it's possible. There are not so many parts left that I need. I need the starter and some small electric stuff, or else I have the most, and the parts I don't have then I have to make myself. The cargo bed I will make myself, and the hinges I will make myself, because I don't think it's possible to find so many similar looking designs in terms of the steel that the hinges are made of and all the latches. So if I'm really lucky and I work really hard this winter, and it should be possible for me to finish this vehicle so I can join Military. That is the number one goal for me next year, to let the people see this magnific, fantastic, unique. And also there is a event in Germany, Wheels and Tracks, in August, I think. That may also be a event that I want to go to with this Unique, but we will see. There is a lot of work to be done, and I have to step up the game and start working every weekend, every night, to finish this project, I think. Once again, thank you for watching. Make sure to push the like button and subscribe. And hopefully next time there will be some real progress on this project. See you next time!